All right. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Dan a very good afternoon. Thank you for coming to my webinar. The title of the webinar that I chose was about is about SAFE, self-aware, focused, equipped. It's all about you. Basically, it is about sharing an awareness about how to be safe, how to be safe in home, where you work, how to be aware of what can cause you damage, or how to be aware of what you're capable of. So that's the whole idea. And pardon about the Nerf gun, I just try to inject some humor in it. So all people will be asking about, hey, what's with the Nerf gun? I don't know, I just put it in. Right?
Awesome.
So but we start.
Right, awesome.
my son was complaining I took his Nerf gun. So yeah, I just borrow it for a while. Right. Let me introduce myself. I was born on 20th of November 1977. I'm married with 5 kids. My wife is a lecturer at UIA. I think Dr. Rose knows my wife. My education background is in mechanical engineering. I worked in Proton R&D for 10 years, since 2000 until 2009, 2010. But after somewhere around 2009, I quit my job because my wife had to do her PhD in France. So we were staying in France for about 3.5, 4 years. For 3.5, 4 years there. Then we came back. Wow. I tried several jobs. I don't to work for anybody else. I tried to create my own job, and now I have my own academy. We call it Academy Wangsa. Basically, this academy is basically, initially I was focusing on traditional archery. I teach traditional archery, and I teach martial arts to some students around here. And now the latest project I have is an ID Sandbox. This ID Sandbox is basically for local community projects where some teenagers have some ideas how to do, they have some skills in terms of video, they have some online gaming, they're good in photography, but they don't really know where to channel it to. So I told them to come to me and we'll figure out how to do it. So coincidentally, today is the 1st of July, it's the debut video on YouTube. They are called, these are the terms for teenage, what piece production. They'll be doing some videos in terms of talk shows and lifestyles and what teenager thinks, and they're going to do some live streaming. They intended to be like a talent scouting production, and they want to do like a weekly production, everything. So I said, go ahead. I have a place in my office, so I give them a room. So this is where you do all your streamings, you do all your musics, because one of them are taking music in UiTM right now. Another one is doing his graphic designs and production. And another two is actually an online YouTube. They were signed by a contract for YouTube something. I'm not quite sure what the terms are. So I said, go ahead, make it their own production. So today is a debut. I have 25 years in multiple disciplines of martial arts. 25 years since I was 17 it's too late for 17 years old. But I have some reasons why I started doing martial arts before when I ventured to now. Right. Before we start going into this webinar, there are some pointers that I need to share for us to realize before we proceed. First thing first, this is not a martial arts webinar. Just an awareness sharing. You won't see me doing any silat or any skills, any techniques. It's just a webinar, and it's just awareness sharing. The focus for the timing is on you. What you can do to make yourself safe, not for saving others yet. If you can't help yourself, you can't help others. So that's the awareness sharing. And you need to learn how to make yourself safe before others. For example, if you see someone drowning, you want to help, but you don't know how to swim, might as well don't. Call for help. Because rather than having you and the victim drown, it's not nice to say let it be the victim, but you know what I mean. This is for preventive reminders and awareness and to avoid unwanted incidents before it happens. And this focus on boundary settings. You need to set your boundaries. What are your intimate, your personal, your comfortable boundaries? You cannot have everybody walking to you without saying that, hey, I know him. You need to understand that everybody has their own boundaries. Right. Next is focus assertiveness, dealing with it. Okay, mostly dealing with emotions and mind control. If you can control your emotions, you can control your own mind. You are already winning half of the battle. Physical is always the last resort. You don't go into physical first. You need to use wit, right? And do not compare yourself to martial artists. They are trained for years and conditioned physically and mentally. And focus in practical, usable application if you need to. And be safe. Nothing fancy. You can't. You should not be doing something like in the movies because they exaggerate all the moves. You need to be practical. You need to realize that in real life you can't do all the fancy moves. You just need to whop, bam. That's it. All right. And do not engage in a situation where you will be breaching the law and you're at the losing end when you have to explain yourself to the officers. Right? If you were mugged, for example, and you had the ability to catch the muggers, you run to the muggers and you catch him, that's it, call the police. If you start beating him until he's half dead, you'll be responsible to your act. So you need to be calm, you need to be mindful that what you're doing is just defending yourself. Don't go overboard. That's all it. I like this quote from Sun Tzu, author of The Art of the War, says that the supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting. And in my silat, says that if you can win a fight before it starts by talking and developing some culture, some relationship, you win war. I had myself some experience where there's a confrontation, somebody challenges me, and what I said, have you eaten? The attackers seemed stunned to my reaction. Say, have you eaten? No. Okay, so I brought him to have some tea, have something to eat, and we talk about. After a while, he was asking, "Hey, why am I here? Hey, you wanted to fight with me? You want to try with me?" I said, no. I don't think I want to do that. So rather than having a physical confrontation, you need to have the ability to talk it out. That's not the easiest way to do, but you want to do that before getting into the physical stuff. Right, so the whole idea is not to be a victim. Most of the cases reported are basically people who don't really know what to do and they froze when it happened to them. We don't want that to be happen. And self-defense is the nature's endless law, apart from survival, apart from foraging for food, apart from looking for food. And your body is more capable than what you think. You said, I'm too small, I don't have the energy, I'm too timid to do that. No. You'll be surprised of what God gave you, the ability to do even more than you can think. You are capable more than what you can do, and you will be surprised of how changing the mindset of in your head will actually change the whole thing of your body. There is always, I forgot who this is, he's one of the sensei, Shihan. He said that, I'm not teaching you how to fight, I'm teaching you how to control evil. That's what we are really doing here. We are not trying to fight, we are trying to stop the evil before it happens, and we actually want to be safe. That's the whole idea. Right, let me show you some personal experience, how I got into martial arts. When I was in secondary school, I was about 13, 14 years old. We were in the midst of preparing for a festival in school. I can't remember. We were assigned to do some art stuff. I was sitting on the floor doing something, I forgot what. And there's a senior of me, which is quite well known to the school, who is actually very, how to say, very robust, very hot-headed. Somehow, and that particular day, he was angry at something. He just stood up and looked at me. He just kicked me in the face, out of the blue. I was so stunned. I don't know what to say. I just sat there and I don't know what to do. There's a lot of people over there, my friends, even the teachers are there, but they did not do anything. I was quite surprised. No one helped me. So that traumatized me a few years. But even that, I didn't dwell into it. I want to take martial arts because I think martial arts is quite hassle. I mean, I don't like doing martial arts by that time. Then coming to the second experience, when I was in a boarding school in somewhere down south. When I was a junior, almost every night, the seniors will call for a roll call about 2 or 3 a.m. I have no idea what the roll call is for, but what they did was they pinpointed to the juniors they are not satisfied with. For example, hey, I called you, why didn't you listen? So they call a roll call. So almost every night there's a roll call, pinpointing, scolding, and up to a point sometimes they even punch and kick the juniors. I was afraid, and I said, hey, what's going on? What did we do wrong? But at the corner of the room, I saw one person who's my age, junior. He seemed so calm. And after a month of all this mind torturing, no seniors came to him and bullied him. After a while, I asked my friend who he is. He's actually a son of silat practitioner. He is also a practitioner and is good at it. So nobody came to bother him. Nobody dared to bother him. Nobody bullied him. And he's so relaxed. So I said, hey, I need to learn something. So when I was 17 years old, that is where I started my first martial arts, which I learned Taekwondo in my school. And that's what I started doing, going on the martial art journey. And there's a funny aspect on it. My coach told me, hey, go into competition, sparring competition. And I said to myself, okay, let's go and try. And we were training partners. I have my juniors with me. I was training him as well as part of the competition. I was training him with all the techniques, everything. He was big, but he was quite timid. I don't know what to do. I teach him. I taught him a lot of things, techniques, everything. The funny thing was, in the tournament, this junior got into the finals and won in his category. I lost in my first round. I was asking myself, what happened? Actually, I was mentally, I lost mentally because before I had a fight with this guy, he was actually participating in the kata, in the pattern, and his pattern was so beautiful. And when I got to know him, he was my opponent. I said, oh my goodness, he's so good, he's so great. I'm gonna lose. He was not that great. It's not that great. He's not a great fighter, but I lost when I say I'm gonna lose. So mentally, I told myself I'm gonna lose, so I lost. So there's it. I'm done with the tournament. I'm done with the martial arts tournament. I just enjoying the tournament, the martial aspects. I'm sure a lot of you have some bad experience having difficulties engaging with people you don't like, everything. I'm sure a lot of you have a lot of experience, but it's part of life, right? Right. A study from the University of Oregon found that women who participated in a self-defense class felt they had better safety strategy in place. They are more equipped to deal with strangers and people they know. And in the context of potential assault abuse, they had more positive feelings about their bodies. They are more confident about their own bodies, and they had increasing confidence. Now, this is interesting because the reason for me to learn how to defend myself actually has boosted my self-confidence. Before, if there was a place where I'm afraid to go, now I don't afraid to go anymore. Not to say brag, I know how to defend myself, but somehow or other it boosts your confidence feeling. You know, if something happens, you have a fighting chance to be safe. Rather than you don't know anything, now we have a better fighting chance. That's all about learning martial arts. All about. If you want to go a bit further, then you go to being a martial artist. Then it's a different story, right? So now we go into this module straight. SAFE, self-aware, focus, and equip. Okay, what are these things? Okay, self is actually understanding and knowing you. You need to know yourself. You need to know your limits, what you can do, what you can't do. You need to know your routines. You need to know what you like, dislikes, you're comfortable, not comfortable. You need to understand you first before we can start journeying to something else. If you don't really know yourself, you can't proceed to the next level. It's hard. You can't. It's hard to go to the next level, right? Then after you know yourself, you understand yourself, then you need to be aware of danger around you, potential danger, and also potential life-saving help. What you can do, what you can use to help you, what you can use to assist you, who can assist you, what are potential dangers, how can it happen, who are the potential dangers. You need to be aware of these things. Once you realize all the potential dangers and life-saving help, then you need to focus on what's next, what to do. You realize you understand yourself, you realize you're aware of the potential dangers and potential life-saving help, then you need to focus on what to do. After you know what to do, and it comes into how to do it, right? So you need to understand yourself, you need to be aware of the danger, potential life-saving help, you need to understand what to do, and last but not least, how to do it. On the how to do it, I won't venture into the techniques, just to explain the concepts, right? So we move on. Hang on. Right, am I still recording? I'm still recording, all right. Right, let's go, sorry. Oh, goodness me. Right, let's go for the first module, which is S.A.F.E. Right, like I said, self is about knowing, understanding you yourself. You need to understand your limitation. You need to understand your physical limitation. You need to understand your mental limitations. What you can do, what you can't do, whether you're high or whether you're shorter or you're big or smaller, and whether you're easily afraid or you are brave. You need to understand that before you can move on to the next one. Right? Knowing what bothers you will actually is the first step on how to overcome it. If you know you're tall, if you know you're short, if you know you're big, you know small, you need to understand there are techniques for it. You understand there are ways to overcome it. You need to understand your limitation first. You can't tell, I'm not fat, I'm not big. That is denial. You need to understand yourself, right? If you have past experience, you have to learn from it. Past experience is the best teacher for us to move on, right? And past experience actually is the best motivation for you to move on. Like for my example just now, I have this past experience I have. Those are the things that actually triggers me, actually push me to learn. I need to learn it. I need to learn it. If I don't have any experience it, so some of my friends did not have the experience. They said, why do I need to learn martial arts? Why do you know self-defense? Learning martial arts, learning self-defense is two different things. You are not learning martial arts, you're learning how to defend yourself. There are techniques you can use practically. Martial arts are the one who are actually immersed into the self-defense and goes into the philosophy, it goes into digging deeper, and sometimes they are part of their life, their subculture life and everything. Self-defense is just technique you can apply, right? You need to recognize and learn to develop your personal space boundaries. Now, this is very important. I can't stress more in terms of personal space boundaries. Basically, there are three types of boundaries. There are intimate boundary, there are personal boundary, there are public boundaries. What are these? Okay, intimate boundaries are basically within your hugging space. These are intimate boundaries. What is intimate boundary? Who are the person in intimate boundaries? Your family members, your spouse, your very good friend, your BFF. These are intimate boundaries. Normally, these are people you are allowed to go into your life, allowed to hug you, allowed to intimate stuff. This is your personal intimate boundary, right? Second is personal boundary, which is double of this boundary. Personal boundaries are usually your colleagues, the work people you work with, your clients, your neighbors, who are acquaintance, but not too personal. You're not attached. These are your personal boundary. Last is public boundary. Public boundary can be triple of the size. What they mean by public boundary is that when you walk in the road, or you walk somewhere in something, when people comes close to you, your sense will say, hey, who is this? Those are your boundaries. You need to realize, is he your friend? Is he people, someone else? Is it public? You need to realize who are these people? And that actually triggers your alarm. So you need to recognize these three boundaries. Once you understand the boundaries, you understand who are the people who can come close to you or can't come close to you, we are moving on, right? Then we need to know your routine. What are your living arrangements? Do you live in a flat? Do you live in an apartment? Do you live in a grounded area? Do you live 6 in the morning? You arrive late at 10 in the afternoon? Your traveling arrangement. You need to understand that all this comes with potential threat. For example, let's just say you leave your work for about 6 a.m. in the morning. You understand that every time you leave work, it's dark at night. And you need to realize sometimes there are potential threats. Maybe someone's waiting for you outside. If you come back home late at night, 10 a.m., maybe someone's waiting for you. So you need to realize that all these things come with its own threats, with own potential threats. So you need to realize all these things, right? And last but not least, recognizing and understanding your surrounding, which is the same thing. You need to realize, because most of the cases you can see later in the YouTubes and videos, you can see that people if you could see videos on YouTube, there are some videos where the person came into the house in the car and the gates are open. Someone just come rushing in and robs in out of the blue in their own house. I saw it. I tried to imagine happening in my house. I'm scared. So you need to understand your surroundings. You can't just drive in your house, open the door, and just walk around as if nothing happened. Sometimes you need to be alert. Not sometimes, you need to be alert all the time. All the time you need to be alert. Right? That's part of self. Now we move on to aware. Right. Aware, after you understand about yourself, your routines, yourself, then comes the awareness. You need to be aware of your conditions. Are you healthy that day? Are you physically fit? Do you have any injuries? You need to know that. And of course, personal space. You need to understand about your personal space. Right? Hang on, yeah? Right. I'm terribly sorry. I'm moving outside of my house and suddenly delivery man came and passed me this document. I'm sorry. Oh my goodness. In the middle of the class. Where was I?
You won the lottery. That's what they delivered.
I wish that it is true. I wish that is true. All right. I think I was in personal space. Yeah, right. Personal space, which is the boundaries lah. Third is don't look at target. What does it mean by look at target? Is that one of the things that is preventive in self-defense is you act very much, you are self-possessed and do not look like a target. Do not look like a victim. You need to walk in confidence. You should not be walking timidly, afraid, and people see this as a hint saying that, hey, it will be my victim. You need to walk confident. You need to walk as if you're tough. You need to walk in stride, right? Try not to zone out. Okay, this is interesting. If you remember back in the days where they start with the Pokemon Go, they all people, these teenagers, people walking with a phone looking for the Pokemon here and there. There's a spike in a police report where these Pokemon goers were robbed of a mark because they were not looking around. They were just looking at the phone. They were marked off their phones, everything. So this is not surprising, to be honest. When you are less aware what's happening, you're too absorbed in your screen, walking to the phone, listening to your headphones. So you are obviously an easy victim, right? Try not to zone out. When you're waiting for the bus or something, try not to zone out. You have to keep your heads up once in a while, look around, and if you need to you look at your handphone, have to head up a while, look around. You should not be just immersed in your phone. Then then you need to trust your gut. If you're in the street and you feel something's weird, go into a store, find someone or strike up a conversation with someone, because more or less or not, your gut is telling, it's a primitive way of telling you if something's wrong. Sometimes your gut is always right. If you don't feel something is not right, if you feel something is not right, you feel someone's following you, maybe they are. Just go to a store, go talk to someone, right? And you have to be aware of the tools, equipment you can use for help. Maybe you have an umbrella, maybe you have a pen, maybe you have a key you can use for defense. You can use that. You need to understand the surrounding environment, whether it's raining, hot, cold, windy, traffic, And you need to understand if the person who you're not comfortable, you don't know, coming to you, you need to know ability, his intention, you need to understand the distance, or whether he's alone or whether it's with someone else. You need to take into calculation. You need to be aware of this. And you need to know the nearest assistance. Worst come to worst, where can I look, where can I run to find help? You need to know this. It might sound a bit paranoid, but when it comes to safety, why not? Better be safe than sorry. Right, if you look into this picture, right, what can you see? What can you understand? What's wrong? Hang on. Can you annotate? Can you circle what is wrong with this picture? If you ask me, first thing first, she's immersed with the phone. She's too immersed in the phone. She's crossing the road, and she's not even looking, is she? She's not even looking. Right? She's not even looking. So this is particularly very dangerous. Secondly, hang on. These are the things about technology I don't like. Suddenly lost my mouse trail. Lost my mouse trail. Right. Then you can see she's crossing the line. Because she's crossing the road with her headphones inside her ears. I don't think she can hear anything. She just crossed the road with the earphone in the ear, having a phone, looking at the phone, and she's holding a bag, plastic bags. When you are not sensitive to what's happening around you, this is actually inviting trouble. Right? Same goes from here. When you're walking any lonely street without knowing, and you have someone who's you suspected, you feel someone's following you, you might be true. You don't just walk into the lane alone. Look into a crowded space and find shelter and ask for help if you feel someone's intend to do something bad to you. And this is a classic case where we go shopping. We have everything in the hands, all the plastic bags, everything. We go into a place where there's a lot of crowded car. There can be a mat rempet just coming straight, swoosh, and take your stuff away, and you are dumbfounded, you don't know what to do. That's usually the case. So you need to be aware of your surrounding. Right. Next is the focus. Okay, right. This is what to do when you know yourself and you're aware. So you need to focus on your safety and distance. This is actually a repetition, but at a different level. You need to focus on your safety and you need to focus on your distance if a perpetrator is coming close to you. You need to understand, is it close or is it further? Is it alone, barehanded, or with weapons? And you need to recognize warning signs, and it's okay to overreact. It is very, very okay to overreact, because might as well overreact than underreact. Might as well you overreact rather than you become the victims. Hang on. I lost my trail again. What a great way. I lost my trail, mouse trail. Sorry guys, I lost my mouse trail. I don't know where I'm pushing. My goodness. Okay, got it. This is what, when you use MacBook Air, it's not that powerful. Sometimes you lose your mouse trail. Here you go. Here you go. Here you go. All right, right. So coming back to not panic and focus on getting safe. Usually the enemy to yourself actually panic. When anything happens to you, you panic. When stuff happens to you, you panic. When you start to panic, everything in your senses actually numb. You don't know what to do. You don't know how to react, and you'll be the victim. So, but it's as easy to say not panic. Me yourself, it happens to me, I'll be panic. But we need to understand that you need to know how to be safe, and you need to put this panic feeling behind you and focus on getting safe. You can't just, I'm panicking, I'm being marked, or just, you need to understand that being panicked It's the worst thing to do when you are being marked something. You need to calm. You need to discern. It's easy as it's said, but it's not. I understand. You need to practice, right? And you need to focus that things in the surrounding that can assist you, whether it's a stone or an umbrella or someone you can ask for assistance. You need to speak up. You need to attack the behavior, not the person. Someone comes close to you. You don't say, hey, orang bodoh, don't come. You need to say, I'm not comfortable with you approaching me. How can I help you? When you trigger, when you instigate the person can react aggressively to you. And let no be a no. Try not to escalate the situation. When someone is already mad, the worst thing to do is to fan the flame. You are actually degrading him. He'll be more aggressive than before. You should not make them wrong. Don't disrespect them. Don't challenge them. Don't try to control them. Don't threaten them. Arguing with aggressor just give them emotional energy to start a full fight fist. For example, you're driving a car, someone hits you in the car, or you hit someone in the car, whatever is happening, it's okay. There will be a time when the person will react aggressively to you. Rather than you just join in the fray and arguing, fist fighting, you just say, I'm sorry, let's go to the police station and settle this. When you start going, you start fighting, that's where everything will escalate. The whole thing, sooner or later, you know you're on a YouTube, banging someone else. Right? Bruce Lee once said, it is not about what happens, it is about how you react to what happens that matters. It's not about what happens, it's about how you react to that. It's your reaction to what happens that matters. Very much correct. Last but not least, this is equipped. Equipped is preventing confrontation from turning physical in the first place. This is where you need to achieve. This is where you need to focus on rather than turning physical. Physical is a very last resort. You need to be patient. You need to have patience. You need to be calm. You need to be focused and aware. And you need to always have an emergency number ready in any case. Right, when you're going somewhere, have it to a point where you report where you are. Let's just say I'm going to work. It's a good thing to just hey honey, I'm at work. Hey, I'm here. Just to tell you where you are. Not to control, but at least if anything happens, you know where is the last place that person is, and you can start looking at the last place. So have someone you trust and just tell you, I'm here, I'm safe, that's it. Right? And ask for help if needed. And of course, the last is practical techniques. Practical techniques is the last thing, hopefully, you need. But somehow or other, I do encourage all of you to learn some basic self-defense, not to become martial artists, some practical self-defense. So you know you are responsible for yourself. You know if something happens to you, you know what to do. Something grabs you by the hand, grabs you by the neck, grabs you by the back, you know what to do. So you can rely on yourself first, then you ask for help. I think everybody needs to learn something. Okay? Right. So these are some tips in being safe. Invest in a good tinted film for cars that can withstand break-ins. I've seen personally myself, we were in traffic jams. There's a car, there's suddenly a motorbike comes by the side of the road, by the side of the car, and just smash the window of the car and grab her handbag. And I was asking, why can't you invest in a good tinting? Because for a good tinting film, it can avoid your windows from breaking totally. It will smash, but it will not cave in. So it's harder to reach. Rather than just smash and it breaks everything, you can just reach it. Invest in good tinted films. So if someone has to smash your windows, it prevents the windows from breaking, and it still creates a barrier from person to try to reach into your car. Stop using handphone while walking. This is very dangerous. If you were to use a handphone, make it a point when once in a while look at left, right, look around. You don't just walk straight to where you want to be. You'll fall into ditches. You'll be hit by a car. You need to be aware of surrounding. Never, ever, ever put your handbags on a car seat. People can grab it easily. This is okay. The next one is I practice in my daily life, my family. Never get out of the car until the house gate is closed completely. I make it to a point for me and my kids, for my family, when we drive into our garage, I say to them, stay in the car, lock the doors, Wait until the gate is fully closed, then you get out of the car. In any case, if you are still in the car, the gate is not closed, some preparators comes in with a car, with a motorbike, or with the parang or machete, wants to rob you, you are in the car. Worst come to us, you can just reverse and hit him at the end, but you're still in a safe capsule. If you go out, the gate is not closed, someone comes in, they say you're a victim. Assume uncertainty as a potential threat. Stay safe and vigilant. Like I said, trust your instinct. If you see things, if you feel something's not right, maybe they are. Maybe there's someone trying to do something bad to you, right? Lock your bedroom door when you're sleeping, right? If there's a break-in, you can't break into your door. Share location when travel with your loved one. Like I said, share your location. I'm here, I'm arrived, I'm safe. So at least you are at peace of mind. Walk against the traffic when you're walking by the sidewalk. This is because when you walk against the traffic, you can see what's coming to you. If you walk with the traffic, you can't see what's coming behind you, as a logical thinking. Okay. If you need to walk to your car in a parking zone, like for example, you are in a mall, have a pen or car keys ready in your hand as a weapon. If someone tries to do something bad to you, just slice and jab. It can be a weapon. And you need to look directly into the eyes of the potential threat. This is one of the things I learned from my Guru Silat. If someone intends to do something bad to you, but you look into their eyes, the intention will simmer down. I had a few incidents where sometimes I was standing outside of my house in the garage. Sometimes I can see a same person zooming in left and right in the motorbike looking at houses. And I suspected he was looking for a house to rob. So I stand by the gate, I open the gate, I just stand outside, and when he passes down the road, I just stare in the eyes. He got shocked and he ran away. Usually people who intend to do bad things don't dare to look into their eyes. So when you look into the eyes, they say, oh my God, he knows what I'm trying to do. Worst case scenario, if anything happens to the house around here, he will be the first I suspected because I've seen before. Right? But janganlah tengok directly, tengok daripada depan mata macam ni kan. Itu kena tumbuk, itu tanggung sendirilah. Okay. Maintain your safe zone. Knowing your safe and personal zone. This is very important. I can't stress it enough. You need to understand your safe zone. Right? Once the person is in safe zone, anything goes. Okay. I've seen in several seminars, they start promoting self-defense for women. Is it correct? Is there such thing as a self-defense for women? There's no such thing as punching for women and punching for men, or wrestling for women, wrestling for men. The same principle applies to all. If I can use it for women, I can use it for men, and vice versa. Right? It's just a matter of, in terms of men, generally are stronger than women. But if you know the right technique, it doesn't matter. Self-defense for men or men, it can use anyway. And women needs to learn to defend against the same type of attacks and men. And techniques that's most effective for men are also effective for women. Whatever used for men is also effective for women. There's no such thing, okay, this is self-defense for women. Are you saying that you can't use for men? No. This is self-defense for men. Are you saying you can't use for women? No. The same techniques apply. The same concept applies. The same goes for weapon use and defense. Unfortunately, as it may be, there are magic techniques that the woman can be taught. There are no saying that, okay, this is the special technique for women. You can use this medically, you can be safe. There's no magic techniques. A technique is a technique, right? And self-defense is self-defense. If you pretend otherwise, it's misleading as its best. It's not generous. It's more dangerous. So are women smaller and weaker than men? Some are and some aren't. I've thought women who are weaker. I've thought women who are faster and stronger than my average male student. I thought men who were slower and weaker than my average female student. I've thought women who are taller than most men, and I've thought men who are shorter than most women. It is not about being male or female or your size, but your size and skill abilities relative to the particular attacker situation. A good self-defense teacher should help practitioners to understand their strengths and weaknesses. Which strategy will best with him? That is what we need to teach. But these strategies are no different for men and women. It's the same. And functional self-defense training should not be based on gender. There's no saying, okay, this punches is for women, laki cannot, tak boleh guna. No such thing as that. It's the same. It's just how you use it here, right? Okay. So how to stay safe? If you aren't physically able to protect yourself, so you need to stay in a well-lit public area. Don't go into crowded areas. You don't really know the alley or something. Don't go home or turn away from crowds. Walk into a store, coffee shop, and ask for help. Right? Turn away from crowds. Go into coffee shop, ask for help. Call the police, find a well-lit public area, and dial 911 or your local emergency service if you feel you're in danger. Call and inform your loved one. Say, Ma, yeah, there's something wrong. I don't feel like comfortable. Go into a shop and ask for help. And carry protection. Please invest in pepper spray, or if you could invest in a personal safety alarm, which is very high pitch to alert, and lipstick taser, self-defense tools that can help you feel more at ease. Save this in your handbags. You can use it. If you're carrying self-defense tools, make sure you know how to do it, how to use it. There are also common objects you can use, such as pencils, purse, briefcase, umbrella, phone, or even a rock. You can just throw it. You can use it there to hammer things. Any blunt object you can use to hit, throw, step, or swing can be very effective. Right? So self-defense strategies, everybody needs to know how to survive. Basically, you need to trust your instinct. You need to trust your instinct. Instinct has been with us since the first day of life for human. Sometimes instincts can be very useful. It tells you what is happening, what can happen, right? Most of the cases, women that occurs of women, like for mugging or something, they usually say, I do feel, I had a bad feeling, but I ignored the feeling. So if you have a bad feeling, maybe something is going to happen. So just be aware, alert. Practice target denial. What I mean by practice target denial, if you feel like you might be a target, sensible target, let's say you are walking down the road, you're walking on the left side. If the perpetrator is walking towards you, walk the other side. Try to avoid being a victim. That's what target denial is. And present yourself with confidence. You should avoid walking intimately frightened. Just walk and brave with confidence. And get strong verbal boundaries. If a person comes close to you, just say, I'm not comfortable you approaching me. Can you stay away? What do you want? You need to say. You need to say. And keep a safe distance and use element of surprise and keep your technique simple. You need to come to it. Don't panic if you're knocked down. Okay, number 8 and 10, you need to learn the physical techniques. You need to learn how to defend yourself. Right? Follow through everything. Right. Learning just a few simple self-defense moves can give you skills and confidence. You need to answer that question with a sounding yes. When you have the sense of what you could do in the event you were attacked and believe you could do something to help yourself, the likelihood that you'll actually do something increases. If you know how to do it, you have the ability to do it, the survivability of a percentage, the survivability percentage increases. And more important than any technique, specific techniques is your mentality. If you're willing to fight back, it's the most important thing. But fighting is always the last chance, the last resort. But if you need to fight, you need to fight. Like it's the end of your world. You need to fight. Okay. This is a person. You can use your bag as a defense. You can just throw it back to the face of the competitor. Right. So these are some posters I found on the internet. Some posters I had before. So for women's self-defense, basically you need to walk confidently and be watchful. Say no firmly and avoid competition. Run away if possible. There's no point in being a hero. And make noise and call for help. These are safety tips. If people ask me, someone attacks you, what do? I say, if I can run, I run. Because you don't really know what person who attacks you might be, might go crazy with knife and who's better than you. If you can run, you run. If you can't, your last resort to self-defense. You need to fight. These are the points. These are the points you learn to save yourself. These are the 7 points, which is very painful. You just jabs into these points, you can save yourself. One of the techniques is to your fingers. You can dislocate them. Those are the points of the throat. You can grab hold of the groin. You can just knee to the groin. You can just butt head to the person. There's a lot of techniques out there. There's 1001 sample of what you can do, but you need to learn it. You can't just learn it from the pictures. You need to learn how to do it, right? Right? How to release yourself or someone grabbing you. How to do it. These are some postures with it. Right. Before I end, I would like to share this video. This is hysterical, but it actually it's actually quite good in understanding what works and what doesn't work. Sorry.
Are we supposed to be watching the video? Because there's no video.
Sorry.
Are we supposed to be watching a video? Because there's no video running.
I'm sorry about that. Hang on.
It looks like it's frozen.
Okay, I'm sorry. Can you see the video? No?
No video.
So you can see the video?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
There's no sound or the video is lagging.
Yeah.
There's no sound?
It's buffering quite a lot.
I see. Oh. Hang on.
You're running from YouTube, right? It will take some time for it to play it because it's buffering. It's streaming.
Is it still buffering with you?
Yes.
Can you hear the voice, the sound?
No.
Is it running and can you listen to the voice, the sound?
No.
Still no sound? I don't think there's any sound for you. I don't think you can listen to the sound. I apologize about that. It's actually a funny video saying that Jim Carrey is as an instructor, karate instructor. When in class, you are only taught of one way of practicing. When it comes to real thing, you don't really know what to do. So practice in the class is always about mastering your techniques, but in your real life, it's a different thing. So this is a funny way of him showing that, okay, let's, for example, this woman is going this way and suddenly he was not prepared and she changed her way. This is just funny. So you can't hear the sound. Right, sorry guys, I did not expect that to happen. I wanted to download the video yesterday, but I could not. Some issues. If I could save the videos and share it to here now, it would be much useful. I'm sorry about that. Inshallah, next time we'll be make it much better. So I think that is all for now. That is all the session I have today. If you have any question, you're more than welcome to ask. Sorry about all the stuttering. Sorry about the technical hiccups, everything. I hope you guys enjoyed what I shared. So thank you very much. If you have any question, you can just private message me anytime. Yeah. So thank you very much, Kevin. Thank you, Narain. Thank you, Ilham, Salva, Farah. Thank you, Katsu. Thank you very much for coming. All right.
Good sharing.
Thanks very
Lepas
much.
ni kena pakai nerf dah.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you. No, I'm not a sensei yet. You know, actually, I know Nazrin from I know him from 1999 in the same silat course.
Oh, no wonder.
Okay, all right.
He's my same age. He's in my same age bracket. He was the editor of the magazine Self-Defense, Seni Berdiri, and I met him in 1999. I know him since then.
I see. Good old buddy.
Old buddy.
I did JKA for 19 years.
I see. Yeah. Right. So thank you very much. Thank you very much, y'all.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot. Thank you very much.
Guys.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Jada.
Terima kasih.
Good
Bye-bye.
session. Bye.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.